Hi, I'm Dr. Lili. Do you know what's wrong with this picture?
When the doctor says my child has a condition, I'll learn more at my pocket pediatrician.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lili, and today we're going to talk about putting your infant carrier in the upper portion of the shopping cart. So this is something I actually used to do with my son, my firstborn, when he was an infant, and I loved it. I would just put him right in there. I saw everybody else doing it, and I'd walk around the store and I would make eye contact and coo and babble with him, and we both really enjoyed it. And who doesn't want to look at your sweet little baby when you're walking around and doing your shopping? But when I went back to work shortly after having him, one of the first cases I had was a child who had been seriously injured falling out of the shopping cart. I realized that over 20,000 children a year become injured by falling out of shopping carts, and the great majority of these are babies and infant carriers who have been knocked out of the shopping cart, and the baby that we had actually had a fairly serious brain injury resulting from it. I realized I never wanted to do that again. And you're walking around, you're shopping, you turn for a second to grab something, and another kid can run up and bump into your cart. There can be somebody coming around the corner. You never really know what's going to happen because you can't control every single portion of that situation. And it's really pretty scary. And when you look in the shopping cart, there's always those little graphics that say, don't put your baby in here. And I went to a couple different stores, and every store consistently had that graphic. And as I looked around, every single store had somebody in there with the baby in the cart, because that's just kind of the norm and that's what people do. But it really is unsafe. This year, the day after Christmas, I had my kids, and we went to the day after Christmas sale at Walmart, and we were just kind of walking around looking at the Christmas stuff. It was really crowded, and there was a young mom there with her baby in the top of the cart, and people just kept bumping into each other there. And I saw the cart get bumped twice, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to be the crazy lady. So I really didn't want to do it, but I just walked up to her and I said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you noticed this, but your cart got bumped into a couple of times, and it would actually be really easy for somebody to just bounce that carrier out, and I would hate for anything to happen to your baby. And she said, oh my goodness, we adore our daughter. I can't believe I didn't know this. I would never, she's like, I thought I knew everything about keeping her safe. I can't believe I didn't know that. And she was very grateful, which isn't always the case when you give people unsolicited advice about mothering, but I was glad that it worked out well that way. So anyway, she wound up moving her baby down into the cart and moving her shopping around, which is what I've done for the rest of my mothering life. Now, I have 4 kids. I do my best to not take 4 kids into the grocery store or wherever I'm going if I can, but sometimes you have to. And it's very hard to shop with the baby down in the bottom of the cart, and I've done it where I've just stuffed all the vegetables around him. Sometimes, at Target and Walmart, they have those big carts with the 2 people strapped in, and then the regular, place where you can sit the child in there. But when you're doing that, also just make sure that you always buckle your child in. I can't tell you how many times I've had 1 or 2 of my kids all of a sudden stand up, or one of my older children unbuckled one of the younger ones so he could stand up, or anything like that. So just always be checking and making sure that everybody's buckled in, everybody's tight and tight. And I've had to do all kinds of kind of creative things to make it work. I sometimes will wear the baby in a ergo or something like that, and then have the other kids in there. It depends on if you're trying to not wake up the baby from getting in and out of the car or whatever you're going to do. But there are ways to make it work. Sometimes I've had to take 2 carts and push one forward and one backward, or sometimes I've had a stroller and I just throw everything into my stroller. Sometimes we use the little ones that have the cars in them. Some stores will have something called a safe dock, where you can actually put the car seat into this bucket thing that's designed to hold car seats. So sometimes that's helpful too. The nice thing about the safe dock is that it doesn't affect the mechanism by which the car seat grips into the base. So when you are looking at placing the car seat into the top carrier, that means that the little ridge part has to sit in there, and those little grip things that go in to grip into the base of the car seat are getting damaged because you're putting it in and out of the cart, which it wasn't designed for. So when you do that multiple times and over and on different carts in different shapes and sizes, it can actually damage those, and when you put the baby back in the car, they may not grip back into the base of the car seat the way they're supposed to, and if you're in a car accident, the car seat may just go flying right out of the base because it's not actually gripping in correctly. So that's even another more important reason why you don't want to do it. Even if you're the best mom on earth and you're absolutely never going to take your eyes off your baby and you know nobody's going to bump that cart, it can still actually be dangerous once you put the baby back in the car, because you've now damaged that car seat and it's not going to function correctly. For the last thing I wanted to do, I just kind of wanted to show you a little demonstration I did with my 5-year-old. Don't tell him that I used to actually do this to him. No. But we just went over to a shopping center and took our old car seat and tried it out to see what would happen if it just kind of bumped into a curb. I didn't want to do it in the store and cause any damage in the store, so we decided to do it in the parking lot. He had a lot of fun doing this, and he thought it was pretty cool, and he said he was really excited that he was helping teach how to keep babies safe. So I hope this kind of illustrates a little bit about what can happen if you do hit a bump, or some crazy kid comes and knocks into your cart. I can tell you my kids sometimes push the carts and try to have races and things like that, which I don't let them do, but you just never know what they're going to come up with, or what other people's children are going to come up with while you're in the store with your precious baby in there. Bottom line, never put your infant carrier in the top of the shopping cart. Find another way. Either put the baby in the basket, bottom part of the cart, or wear the baby, or use one of the safe dock things. But find some way to get around it so that you know that your baby's safe and nothing's going to happen, and your baby doesn't become one of those 20,000 babies in that statistic. Hope you learned something today. This is Dr. Lili with My Pocket Pediatrician. Please feel free to subscribe, comment below, let me know what worked for you, what's your best way, or shop online, whatever you need to do. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching My Pocket Pediatrician.
When the doctor says my child has a condition, I'll learn more at My Pocket Pediatrician.